we trick the user to save resources. If I were to destroy the pipes here while keep creating one on the left, that's way more taxing than this little trick. It's called object pooling. Okay. Okay, what else? What else do we need to create our Flappy Bird game? Whew. A score, perhaps. Okay, so in Flappy Bird, how does one gain score? By going through the pipes without touching the pipe itself. So in our pipes over here, we're going to create, you guessed it, another trigger, because we want the bird to detect the pipes being in the middle of them without touching anything and altering your movement. So now we want to zero this, Z, and looks good. So we're going to make this a trigger. Now we want to encompass this whole area. Move it over. We want it to be part, we want to call this, wait, what's this? We're going to call this wall. See, I just messed up. What's this other cube? Oh, it's the wall. So now I want to call this score up. Make it a trigger. Good. Now I want to make it part of the pipes. So score up. Now I changed my pipes over here, so now I have to change my pipes down here. So I want to delete this and reset the prefab. Alright, looks good. Now I want to create another script called score. So we name it score. Now I want to attach it to the bird. My mouse is a little messed up, bear with me. Don't worry about those messages. So, okay, so here again, new script. Var score int var top score, because we need a top score, of course. Okay. So we don't need this. Well, I'm gonna leave it in there just in case. Function on collision, no, on trigger enter. Now, the only trigger the bird will enter is going to be the points. So score plus plus. So this is saying, if the bird ever encounters a trigger, increment score by 1. That's what that's saying. But guy, where do I put these? I can't see the score. Okay, relax. Go to game object, create other, and now we're going to create a 3D mesh text, which uses a text mesh. Over here we can see the blue quads, these two triangles per letter. I'm going to move this up. I don't like these lousy graphics, so I'm going to play with it, increasing the font size while decreasing the character size, and it looks a little clearer, which is what we want. Okay, so we put it there. Now this, we're going to call this score, and we're going to create a new tag, and I want to call this score. Tags are a way to identify game objects. So we're going to click on the score here, untagged to the new score we just created. So now this is a tag score. And we're going to call that in here. We want to grab that text, so we're going to do var score text colon text mesh. And now we're going to do score text equals game object dot find game object with tag score. It's gonna load it in there the same way as resources, but now we want to get component text mesh. So what this is doing is, this is a type text mesh, which is this over here. We want to grab this component, and you do that by grabbing the game object, which is this line, and then from that game object we want to get the text mesh component. So that's going to return this in here. So now from here, we use score text. We want to initialize the text. Dot text equals score colon, and now we're going to concatenate using a plus sign. We're going to do score, which is this number, which is 0, dot toString. ToString is a function that parses an integer. Not parses, but it converts it to a string. You can create your own, but I don't see why you would. You can just use this function. Now, it's going to say hello world here, but I can change it to whatever I want, like Incradiator rules. Forever. Okay. Hit play, and it's going to change. Score is 0. That's what we want. And now if I hit the score thing, oh, the whole pipe gets destroyed. It doesn't get destroyed, it just moves. Now why is that? Because the pipe still has, it's running this. Now that's no good, we don't want that. So now we need an if statement. So we grab the collider that hits into this pipe. And now what we want to do is make sure that it's the wall. Now we take the collider that we hit and we grab the name of it. And if it's equal to wall, then we want to run this line of code. These two lines of code actually. I don't know how else to do it, so if it's not right, sue me. But please don't. Alright, now let's test it out. Oops, I died. But hey, at least the pipe didn't move back, right? That's good. Now, we go back to score. And we take this line of code that we initialized it with, put that there. And now it's all good. Okay. Now what do we need? Max score, top score, of course. So we're gonna copy this, scroll it down a little bit. Okay, and then we want to change this tag. A new tag, you don't have to do a new tag, but I always do tags. Make sure you don't have too many of them, otherwise they'll, just not good. So now we want to grab that. You know what? I'll just click and drag it in there. I don't need this tag, so let's try it that way. So in our bird, we have this script, we have this top score text. Now we can grab this, which is this tag score. We're going to change that to untagged. We're going to rename this. We're going to call this top score. Oops. Top score. And now we're going to go back to our bird object. We're going to click and drag this object here. And now we have the top score text mesh without having to load it through code. If you want to do it that way, that's fine. I just do things with code because code is great. So now instead of score, we're gonna go into memory here and grab a number from memory that we'll load into it later. We'll call it top. Sorry, get int top. Now this should be 0. Get int with the tag top. This is a function that grabs an identifier with this string and it returns that value associated to it. So it's like a fancy array, but it uses a string instead of an integer index. It uses a string index, so to say, which can be pretty handy because you can use an algorithm to load stuff into memory and do stuff if you want. But we'll get to that maybe. Okay, so let's try that. Oops. Top score. Hit save. Run. Okay, so now it's starting to look like a Flappy Bird game, right? It's too hard. I got 2 points somehow. Oh, I don't worry about it. Okay, so now, man, this box is ugly. We don't want to see that box, right? Of course not. So we click on the box. Let's click this mesh renderer and remove it. The collider is still there. Just the object is now invisible. And we gotta do that for this too. So here, within the prefab, it's the same thing. So remove it, and you're good. So I hit play. Now, hey, it's starting to look like Flappy Bird. That's pretty neat. But Incradiator, it's only been a half an hour. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, Unity is amazing, isn't it? Now let's program our top score. Bird behavior, so when you die, we grab the value of the scores, because game's over, we gotta calculate score now, right? Exactly. So this score, I believe, is part of the bird script. So let's go to the bird behavior script and start. Alright, so let's grab the score script. How do you do that? So what's happening here with this line of code, we're setting a variable equal to a score component, score type, which is just a script. Yeah, I don't know why they did that, but instead of just writing, you know, script here, and I don't know why it doesn't work that, it just doesn't work that way. So we set the score script equal to get component, which is the game object that the script is attached to. It's automatic. And now we do score. So if I go bird here, hit play, first here, it shows score script is none. It's looking for the score script. Boom. Bird is now in there. Score. Okay. Bird game object. Okay. So now if score script dot score, we're grabbing the score variable from the score script. It's greater than player press dot get int, or rather, since we don't want to access that, we don't want to use that function during gameplay because it's taxing. We go to score script again, dot top score. Go back to our score. Okay. So I made a mistake here. This top score goes here, and we set it equal to this. And then we do top score